Hello everyone! In this video, we are going to look at some of the social scenarios you may find yourself in while sleeping and speaking in English. And I will demonstrate how you can use modal verbs to help communicate effectively within these situations. So, what are the modal verbs? Modal verbs are special verbs which have a great variety of communicative functions in English. Modals, they are also called modal verbs, modal auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliaries. They are special verbs which behave irregularly in English. They are different from normal verbs like work, play, visit. They give additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. They have a great variety of communicative functions. Here are some characteristics of modal verbs. 1. They never change their form, so you cannot add as, ed, or ing. They are always followed by a bare infinitive or base form. Okay? They are used to indicate modality that allows speakers to express certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, and ability.
Modal verbs can be used to ask politely for something when in any social situation. For example, when you're eating in a restaurant, you will need to ask for the menu, order food and drinks, and ask for the bill after you have eaten. You may also wish to go to the toilet at some point during the meal. Let's look at some example questions you can ask. May I sit here? Could I order the instant noodle, please? Would you pass me the salt, please? Can I get the bill, please? Can you lower the volume, please? We are talking here. Or in this other scenario, imagine that you are sitting in a very hot room and you notice that the window nearby is closed. You could ask the person sitting next to you either one of the following questions. Would you mind if I open the window? Or you could ask, would you mind opening the window? In the first question, you are asking if it is okay to perform the action of opening the window. And in the second question, you are asking them to open the window for you. The response would probably be, no, I don't mind. This does not mean that you can open the window or that they won't open it. In fact, they are giving you permission to open it or agreeing to open the window for you. If they respond with yes to other question, they do not want you to open the window or you are refusing to open it for you. By now, you should know that request and permission is different. A request is when you want someone to do something for you, so the subject is usually you. A permission is when you want someone to allow you to do something, so the subject is usually I or we. Okay, let's have a quick note here. We use modals of request in questions with you. Short answer, I won't, can sound angry and impolite. Don't forget to add please. Add a comma before please if the word at the end of a sentence. For example, could you explain that, please? Compare that to, would you please explain that? We use can, could, will, would to ask someone to do something. But you need to understand that the formality is different. If you're talking to someone who is an equal, like a friend, or maybe someone's lower in status from you, like a child, you can use can and will. However, if you're talking to someone higher in position, for example, like your teacher or your parents or your, police or something, or maybe someone who is a stranger, so you try to be respectful, we can say could and would. Okay, so yeah, we can use can, could, and may to ask for permission as well. So in less formal situation, we can use can and could, while the formal situation, we use may. Now let's talk about each verb so we can have a deeper understanding of what the real meaning of each verbs. So first we have can. Okay, so it basically talks about indicates your ability or you know how to do it. For example, I know I can lift 100 pounds, or Nancy can multiply huge numbers in her head. Okay, and then we also got could. Okay, it's a weakened ability to undertake action, implies possibilities that doesn't imply the speaker is attempting to put pressure on the mover. So what does it mean? So basically like this, when we ask people, can you do this for me? Could you do this for me? Okay, we're basically asking about their ability to do something. But because we use could, okay, when we use could, it's like you're taking it to the past. Okay, you're trying to be indirect, you're trying to be polite. Okay, so you are not trying to imply that we are giving some pressure on them to do something for us. So you're just trying to be polite. Okay, and then when we talk about may, it is about external authority that allows action. So when we use may, we imply that there is a barrier. Okay, there is something that stops you from doing something. Okay, and when you ask someone with may, you're asking them to lift, okay, to take off the barrier so that you can do what you need to do. In this picture, okay, he's opening the door basically, so there's a like a mental barrier from you from doing something. That's why may is the most formal way to ask for permission. Will, okay, means that it first comes from the actor. Okay, so it's like you are trying to get into their head and try to force them from inside. Will you do this for me? Or something like that. You will finish the paper today, or don't worry, you will finish this paper today and then you'll feel much better. So you're trying to get into their head and trying to say that, oh, this is from inside, this is something that you want, like that. Similar with will, would is also a strong way, okay, to ask someone to do something, but slightly weaken commitment or desire. Okay, for example, like you will finish this paper today if you work all afternoon. So that's the idea. Alright, now that we have discussed models of request and permission, let's have an exercise. The password to the exercise is peanut butter jelly. Have fun! Now that we have gotten it out of the way, let's talk about the second type of models. Now, we're going to talk about advice, necessity, and prohibition. When you talk about obligation and advice, you should know that there are at least 6 models that we can use. They are could, might, should, ought to, have to, and must. Could and might are the weakest. They often sound more polite. Should and ought to are in the middle, while have to and must are used to give very strong advice. But for this video, we're going to talk only 3 types of models: should, must, and have to. So let's begin. Okay, let's talk about must. Okay, so they are outside authority, irresistible force, while should is a strong outside authority and the actor or mover's recognition of the legitimacy of the outside authority. Simply saying, okay, so when we talk about must, it means that it's a very strong power coming from the outside of the speaker, while should is basically you're telling the other person that the idea is a good thing to do. Meanwhile, we use must and have to say that something is necessary. Sometimes it doesn't matter which one, but sometimes there is a big difference. Must is personal. We say must when we give our personal feelings. While have to is impersonal. We use have to because of a rule or a situation. For example, you must finish the work. That means that the force, okay, is coming from me, the speaker. While have to means that the situation or an outside force makes me or you do something. For example, you have to finish the work. It means that the situation maybe forces you to finish the work. Must can be used for present and future, but not past. Have to can be used in any forms, in any tenses. For example, I had to go yesterday, so that was something that you had to do in the past. Have you ever had to go to the hospital? So we talk about from the past until now. And the future, I might have to go to hospital, so it's infinitive after might. And then, must not and doesn't have to is also different. When we said you must not do something, it means that it is necessary that you do not do it, so don't do it. Okay, for example, you must keep it a secret, you mustn't tell anyone. Okay, yeah, so don't tell anyone. While you don't have to do something, it means that you don't need to do it. So it's an option. You can do it, you can not do it. Okay? You don't need to do it, but you can if you want to. For example, I'm not going to school tomorrow, so I don't have to get up early, even though that we know that we still have home learning. So let's try. For the next exercise, the password is I like me better.
I like me better when I'm with you.
As you can see, there are many ways in which we can use modal verbs for various purposes in English. The best way to feel comfortable with modal verbs and their many functions is to start using them within social functions. Have fun!